Guys, so a little update real quick before we get into the video proper. The video that I've been talking about for the last couple weeks I'm super excited about. It's taking me more time than I want because it involves some animation, but I also want to take as much time on it as possible to make it good. I think I'm building it up a bit too much because it's not going to be something spectacular. It's just something different, and that's kind of what I want to do with these videos, is make stuff that's different and stuff that I haven't done before. And because it's different and because it involves some... It doesn't... The animation is very crude, but since it does involve some kind of animation kind of like stuff, it's taking me a while. And second thing, when we get to the end of the week here, Thursday in my film history analysis class, we have a screening day where we watch a movie, or sometimes multiple movies, depending on the time we have. Well, we have a set time, but how long the movies allow. So I'm pretty sure that either on every Thursday or Friday, I'm gonna just talk about that movie and kind of review it. Because that's just kind of an easy video to do, and end of the week is when I have most of my work to finish and turn in. So just an easy way for me to get a video out, stay sane, and still work on both school and other videos. So on to the review of the movie I watched. So the movie I watched this week was the Adventures. It's either the Adventures or the Mini Adventures of Prince Achmed, which is a 1920s animated movie. It is not the first feature-length animated movie, but it is the oldest remaining. A lot of people think Snow White is the oldest or the first animated feature-length movie, but that's just the first hand-drawn feature-length movie that's surviving. So a lot, and of course Disney wants you to think it's the oldest. But in truth, the oldest surviving is Prince Achmed, which is stop-motion shadow puppet silhouettes. So what happened is this woman, Loda Rayner, I think was her name. She was a German who came over to America after this, I think, to work on it. I think when she made this, she was still working in Germany. But she would cut... All the movie is cutouts, like paper cutouts, that she would put against the background and use those silhouettes as the characters, and she would use stop motion to animate them. And it is super impressive. All the backgrounds are all bold, vibrant colors. Lots of reds, lots of blues, some greens in there, a lot of yellow, that help the paper cutouts stick out. But they're all beautiful. They use different shades to create awesome backgrounds, and then you have the character designs, which are really cool. And so you have these very beautiful backgrounds set up against these awesome cutout characters. And the relationship between the backgrounds full of colors, and the characters, which are just black cutouts, really creates a beautiful, beautiful viewing experience. Now, it is silent. Obviously, there is music to go along with it on the DVDs, and they played it in the theaters. But of course, they don't have dialogue per se. They do have the title cards, and that can, if you aren't used to that kind of movie, it can get tedious, especially in some parts. But for the most part, I feel that because this is a fairy tale, they're able to tell the story rather simply, and they don't need to rely on those too much. But because of that, when they do have to rely on them, it can feel kind of tedious. Also, since all the title cards are in German, you have to read subtitles, which is just layers of reading, which I don't mind, but some people do, because when I talk to people, they're like, well, I don't like foreign movies because of subtitles, and I don't like old movies because of title cards. So that might be two things that clash together, so you might not like it. But of course, you can just all ignore that and enjoy the story in front of you. There are some problems. The story is a fairy tale, and it's an old fairy tale, so there's some kind of weird parts, especially with the love interest, and he kind of kidnaps her, but they fall in love anyway, and she's the ruler of this land, but it doesn't seem like she actually has any control. So there are a couple narrative problems, but for the most part, I love this movie. It was such a fun experience and just beautiful. I would highly recommend it. Check it out. It's it's a bit long, but for me, the imagery along with the music made it a great experience, even if you ignore the narrative and some of the problems with that. Also, I should say there's a scene in there it's a fight between a witch and a wizard, which is very reminiscent of the scene in Sword in the Stone between Merlin and Madame Mum. And I'm pretty sure Disney and the animators had seen Prince Achmed and they based that scene off of it. But it's really cool seeing that, and it's just an awesome scene. The transformations in this movie, because there are several, the way they transform the characters is really cool. All the animation in this is impressive. So definitely check out The Adventures of Prince Achmed. Rock on.